Okay, let's talk about one of the most universal struggles there is. I mean, we've all been there, right? That massive, frustrating gap between our biggest ambitions and our actual day-to-day actions. Does this feel familiar? You've got these incredible goals. You want to get into your dream university or write a book or finally get in shape. But when it actually comes time to do the work, you find yourself just stuck, scrolling through your phone maybe, or just lying in bed doing absolutely nothing. Well, here's the first thing you need to hear. This is not a character flaw. You're not lazy. That feeling of being totally stuck, it's a completely predictable, even hardwired response from your brain. And the good news? You can totally outsmart it. So let's get into the science of what's actually happening here. Why does our brain, this amazing thing that's capable of dreaming up these incredible futures, so often get in its own way when it's finally time to act? It's really like a battle inside your head. When a task feels too big or too far off, the emotional, comfort-seeking part of your brain just kicks into high gear. It basically screams, nope, let's not suffer right now, and it overrules the logical part, steering you toward whatever feels easy and comfortable in the moment, even if that completely sabotages the goals you really care about. And this leads us to a really powerful glitch in our brain's wiring that we can actually use to our advantage. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. See, once you start something, your brain gets annoyed that it's unfinished. It creates this open loop, like a mental itch that just nags at you to go back and complete it, because it absolutely craves that feeling of closure. This brings us to the biggest misconception about getting things done. And honestly, it's a trap. It's the idea that we need to wait for motivation to magically strike before we can start. That's what keeps so many of us stuck. This quote just nails it. Inspiration is fleeting, it's unpredictable. Relying on it is like hoping to pay your rent with a lottery ticket. The one thing you can control right here, right now, is the decision to just begin. This completely flips the script on everything we're taught. We think we need motivation before we can act. But the truth? It's the exact opposite. Action is what generates motivation. That's what creates the cycle that actually leads to results. So yeah, action is the spark. It's the friction that creates the fire of motivation. Waiting around to feel inspired is a trap. Real momentum is built by pushing the ball, not by just staring at it. Okay, so if action is the key, how do we actually do it when our brain is screaming no? Let's get into the practical toolkit for hacking the initial resistance. Here are 3 simple but really powerful brain hacks you can combine. First, the 5-second rule. The moment you think of doing something, just count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and physically move. This literally interrupts your brain's pattern of making excuses. Second, commit to working on the task for just 2 minutes. Seriously, anyone can do anything for 2 minutes, right? It just lowers the barrier to entry. And third, make that first step ridiculously small. I mean, so small it feels like you're cheating. And here's what too easy to fail actually looks like. The goal isn't write an essay, it's open the document and write 1 sentence. You're not studying for an exam, you're just going to read the first page. See, when you frame the task this way, you remove all the overwhelm and your brain literally can't find a good reason to say no. So, getting started is one thing, but how do we keep going? How do we turn a single action into consistent, real progress? Okay, let's talk about building systems. All right, here are 3 systems that just work. First, create easy routines. Don't rely on willpower, that stuff runs out. Instead, design your environment to make the right choice the easy choice. Second, have a backup plan for bad days. It's called the minimum effort system. It just means that even when you feel terrible, you commit to just 15 minutes. It's not about making huge progress, it's about not breaking the chain. And third, shift your identity. Start telling yourself, I'm the kind of person who shows up. Your brain doesn't really know the difference between truth and repetition, so start repeating a better story about yourself. And please, don't underestimate the power of a simple system. This quote comes from someone who built their own minimum effort routine and, with no special advantages, used it to beat out thousands of other applicants for a spot at a top university. These simple systems get powerful results. And hey, remember this. Your brain is fundamentally wired to avoid suffering. So if you can make the process less painful or, even fun, you're hacking the system. Listen to a podcast on the topic, watch an explainer, turn it into a game. Your brain doesn't care how you learn, only that it doesn't hurt. So we have the tactics, but what's the big picture here? Why is mastering the art of just getting started so fundamentally important? Let's connect these daily actions to a much larger idea. This number can be pretty sobering. The average person lives about 30,000 days. That's it. It isn't infinite. And every single day we spend waiting for someday is one of those 30,000 that we can never, ever get back. And this highlights a really strange paradox. We get so frustrated by what we can't do in a single day, and we often quit. But we completely fail to appreciate the immense power of small, consistent efforts compounded over a year. Those tiny steps, that's what build mountains. You know, if you ever need to cut through the noise and find some real clarity, use this powerful mental model, the deathbed test. Imagine yourself at 90, looking back. What are you going to regret more? The minor fears that held you back, or the important things you never even started? Because ultimately, this isn't about productivity for its own sake. It's not just about checking boxes. It's about being intentional with your 30,000 days. It's about aligning your actions with your deepest values and making sure you're spending your life's most precious resource, your time, on the things that truly matter. So let's just end with this question. Looking back from the end of your life, what is the one thing you would be so profoundly grateful that you had the courage to start today?